There we go. Oh, sorry. I didn't notice that it was on. It is. Today, one more in this series of video overlays. So you see, aside from yesterday, which was a holiday, video overlays are really easy to produce. It just is a matter of the style of overlay that you're going to create. In particular, we've been doing a couple of riffs on Motion Array's YouTube titles. And then it's just exporting the right format. And the way that we do that is we export a transparent video. The video being compressed with Apple ProRes 4444. And you can drop it into any video project, okay? So we're gonna do one more of these today. And in this one, we're gonna do a couple of different techniques than we have from the other day, or the last couple of days. All right, so this will be the one that we are going to do. Here it comes. This. Right there. Okay, and so what's different about this one than the other days is if we just go through slow, okay, we're just going to bring that logo in. So we're going to recreate the YouTube logo with flow. And then we're going to do this one, which has a nifty little effect right at the end where the top and the bottom go like this when they mask the layer out. Okay, so we're going to do both of those. All right, and we're just going to do everything from scratch. So let's start with an empty timeline. Let's go ahead and make this scene. I'm just going to guess 600 by 100 for now and start laying things out. So let's start with the YouTube logo. I'm going to make flow big here. And, well, let's just grab ourselves a little YouTube logo. I'm just going to take a screenshot of this one. Actually, I'm just going to take that and see if I can drag that into flow. I need to save it first. Let's just save the link, save the image as. There we go. Command I, YouTube emblem, and there we go. Okay, so on my other screen, I was just now finding the logo in Safari, and now I have it. Okay, so this is the logo. What we can do, it's got this kind of like a little bit of an arch. So actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna go out, and instead of just looking for the logo, and again, we're doing this on the fly because I just kind of came up with the idea this morning. YouTube logo SVG, done. And let's click on vector. We're gonna grab this one and we're gonna say save link as. Nope, we are gonna go like this. We're gonna download that SVG. There we go. Okay, so that's in downloads. And now we're gonna go like this. Click, drag. There we go. No more needing to recreate anything. We'll zoom out a little bit. There's our logo. Comes with the view box and all that jazz. So let's ungroup, and we're going to delete this path. What are these paths? They're just junk. Okay. We're going to call this the background. And this is the arrow. So now what we're going to do is, oh, this is great. Okay, so what we're going to do is this arrow, we are just going to delete from the background. And for the arrow, And we're going to hide that. And then with this arrow here, we're going to double click. We're going to select the outer subpath, and we're going to hit delete. And then we're going to make this one white. Enter. We're going to put that one over top of that, just like this. And now we have our YouTube logo. It's huge. So I'm going to select both of them, and I'm going to just scale them down right into there. And let's go ahead and delete all this stuff because I had forgot to originally turn on relative mode. So let's delete all those animations. And again, what I did was I went here and I clicked on that parent track. That parent track selected all of the key values that were under it. And I hit delete on all of those lovely little key values that we do not need anymore. Okay, let's select both of those. Oops. And let's scale them like that. Okay. So that's centered and anchored, and then let's move it in by, well, pressing Shift and right. Next. Okay, so the scene is white. It's going to be hard to do white on white and just see what's going on. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make that black for now, and then we're going to insert a layer. Let's make our thing big, and let's check out the height of this one. It's 87.4, so let's make this 88. And we're going to drag this layer out like that, and then to there, something like this. And we're going to make this one white. No, that was wrong. I was supposed to do that on the background color, not on the border color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Enter. And make that opacity all the way up to 100%. And then we have two pieces of text that we're going to do today. And it says subscribe to my channel. So let's just lay out those pieces of text. So again, just a simple little hack for bringing text into something. Copy the scene name and paste it. Really easy. And then let's go ahead and change that font. Let's move you up in there. Do something like this. And change the text by selecting the text here and saying subscribe to. Let's make it capitals. Subscribe to. And let's pick a nice font. Let's go Bezier Circle. Semi-bold italic. Let's go bold italic, and let's make it really big. Big enough. 64? Ooh, too big. Let's try 60. 56. Yeah, 56 will work. And let's make it centered. And then let's center it on that layer by pressing Command and just adjusting that height until the middle of the E. You can see the middle of the E, the middle of the B are right on line when you Command snap it to the center of that layer. Okay, great. So we have subscribe to. And the next one is going to be my channel. And we can do this one left hand, and we'll do it unbolded or unitalicized. We'll just do bold. And then let's bring that up. That looks like it's aligned fairly nicely, just like that. Okay, so we have our two layers We have our arrow, our YouTube logo, and we're good to go. Look at that, my light just died, and let me fix it. Guess it doesn't really matter because you guys are looking at my desktop at the moment, but when I do switch back, I would love to have a little bit of light on my face, just a little bit. And I'm gonna fix this up for next week. I'm gonna get a better lighting system. Okay, so let's do our animations. The, if I remember correctly, let's go like this, and let's go back to that page that we were on and have a look. History. And it was right around here. Just after this one, and right about the 51, 52 mark. Okay. Here it comes. Okay, so here we go. So this is going to animate in. Okay, so this starts to animate in slowly while these two animate in. See that? Let's move it back just a little bit. And tick, tick, tick. It just appears, and then those two come in at different paces, and then they all finish at the same time. So we're going to start with that. And to subscribe to my channel, actually neither of them is italicized, so we can go and fix that. To subscribe to my channel is part of that animation. Okay, so let's go in here and let's say that this is not italic, and that this one here is also just centered, because they're both centered. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring both of these. We're going to call this my channel. Oh yeah, this is my channel label, and this is the subscribe to label. And we're going to take both of those, we're going to drop these right now into this group. And that's all we need to do for the moment. So let's start with the YouTube logo, because it's the easier part. Let's just say at the end of our animation, this is where the YouTube logo is going to go. Which means that when we turn off relative mode and we move this back, both of them back, like that, we create those animations. And then we need to offset them. I think it's something like this. So just offsetting that timing, just like that. Now we're going to make this a little bit shorter. We're going to fix the timing later on, but for now that's that. And then at the beginning here, what we're going to do is we're going to say that this group, and we're going to turn off the adjusts content on resize, because we do not want that. What we want is for this group, okay, we want that to appear just like that. And we're going to say that this is 0.01 high. And we're going to take both of these. First, we're going to start with the subscribe to, and we're going to say that its position is at 0.05, 0.01, just like that. So it's centered. And we're going to mask that baby right there. Oh, no. And then we're going to take that group and we're going to mask to bounds. Okay, so you shouldn't be able to see anything. And that's going to happen. Just like that. Woo! See? And then what you'll also notice is that as that animation kind of comes to an end, the letters start to... Watch, just watch. It's just as it comes to an end. It's like the subscribe is sort of following the top of that layer up. So we're going to get that to happen as well, which means that sort of like down here, okay, that subscribe has to move a little bit at the beginning. So what do we say? This height is 88, which means that half of that is 44. We're going to go here. We're going to open up that group. We're going to take that subscribe label and we're going to say in the Y position, we're going to add 44 to it. So it's down. And now that group, inside of that subscription label, there is a Y animation. There you go. See? Now it's following. And then immediately as that happens, it's going to go up again. So now what we'll do is we're going to take all of our animations. We're going to Command A on everything. Just like this. Command A. And we're going to change that duration. It's going to be 0.5 seconds long, so it's going to happen relatively quick. There, pretty fast. But the idea is just blocking in all the animations. We'll work on like the actual duration of the animation later. And this one is going to come up like that. And then at this point, this is where we select this label. And we're going to say its Y position is 44. Right there. So now we have animate in, just like that. Okay, and we might be able to get away with, so right here, this is a bit hard for me. What we might actually be able to get away with the subscribe label. And it's strange that this here is 218. It's 218.42. Okay, so let's just get rid of that odd little imprecise X animation, which is could be the same for this as well. 374, 374.09. Okay, so there we go. Just cleaning some stuff up. The only X animation should be on the arrow in the background for the moment. But what we could actually do is with that subscribe label, we could actually shift its animation back by a little bit, so that makes it just a little bit more smooth. See that? Just a little bit more smooth. I like it. And what I'm actually specifically talking about here is if I put this back to that position, what happens is it comes in and it kind of does like a slow down and a hard stop and then moves forward. Let's watch. Let's just watch it over and over again a couple of times. I'm just going to isolate this part of the animation. I'm going to turn on loop. Oh, that's a little bit too much. See, there's like this little stop. It stops moving. And the reason for that is because it actually does stop moving. So if I take this animation and I bring this back a little bit, what's happening is it's slowing down and it's ending its Y animation right here. But because the channel is still moving up a little bit, it's also following it. So it's kind of combining the two motions, which means that it feels like that subscribe to animation doesn't quite stop in that same way. It just looks like a fluid motion that it has. All right. So subscribe to my channel. I think, there we go. That's pretty good. Now we got to work on the outro. Let's go back and have a look. We'll pop out of view, go back here. Now, what does the outro look like? The outro for let's just, what happens here? Ah, you see, the logo just disintegrates into nothing. And then we have this opposite animation on the my channel area. So where it collapses on itself. And then this just goes right back down to the middle and disappears. So let's go and make this 1.5. And we're going to expand our timeline. We're going to go to the end. We're going to grab you, and we are going to make you super tiny, like that. Look, it creates tons and tons of animations. And that's okay, because what we'll do now is we're going to go and we're going to drag these like this. And drag all of these out to here. We're also going to take these two. We're going to option drag those out to there. Okay, so now we've created that gap again. So out, gets small. There we go. See? Gets small. And right here, what we can also do, we can say that on both of those, the opacity is 0. And we'll just go down here and make this opacity animation like 1/10 of a second long. So it'll fade out as it's coming down, and it'll just look like it's gone. Just like that. Okay? Now, same position over here at 1.5. We are just going to make the height of that layer 0.01. Enter. And starting right about there, we are going to, sorry, I'm going to bring this back up again a little bit. So that height animation, we also need to bring out to here so that it does that. And that my channel is also going to move because the height of the layer is going to move. So it's keeping its position relative to the layer. We need to now go back into that my channel and set its Y position to 0. Okay, so what is that doing? The layer is getting tighter like that. All right, and then you have your layer inside of it. And so as you're doing it, it kind of comes down. That's just the natural behavior, or the default behavior. So what you're doing is you're offsetting this animation by saying, as this comes down, this one goes up. And what ends up happening is it just stays in position. Okay, does that make sense? So you're changing the frame of the group and offsetting the animation in the opposite direction of the layer. And now we should get that effect, just like that. And I think that we're good to go. Let's look at this one time. There we go. Pretty easy. All right, so now let's go back and check all the timing. Google Chrome. Here we go. So this one starts. Okay, so about 53, and it takes about 2 seconds to get to there, 1 second to get to there, and then you wait wait 1 second, and then it's 2-second animation. So 2, 2, 1, 2. So the whole animation should be something like 2, 2, 1, and 2 should be 7 seconds long. So we're going to say 7. We're going to scale that bad boy. Now we are just going to zoom out. 2, 2, 1. 2 seconds to get to here, correct? And then with this one, yeah, we're going to want to bring this back. Actually, we're going to take all of this initial animation stuff. Just make sure we got all the layers. Yeah, we got everything for the first 4 seconds, because it's just a continuous animation for 4 seconds. And we are going to come up here. We're going to say that this animation is 4 seconds long, and that's going to scale everything into that position for us. And then we're going to we're going to undo. We're going to deselect. We're going to option drag this out to the beginning of this animation. Make sure that they're all aligned. Okay. Yep, they start and end all at the same time. And now we are going to take all of this stuff. we're going to say that its duration is 2 seconds long. We're going to lock that. We're going to put the start end at 5, which gives us this 1 second gap. And the last thing I want to do is I want to take these two sets of animations. These, I wanted them to be like 1/10 of a second long. So we're going to do the same technique. We're going to say, okay, these are going to be 0.1, enter, and they're going to start at, we're going to start this one at 6.9. There we go. So now we should have our 7-second animation. Feels a bit slow. Was I off on the timing? Yeah, that feels way too slow. Let's go ahead and make this whole animation 4 seconds long. Maybe my math was, I don't know how to read. And let's scale it. Okay, so the whole thing is 4 seconds long. Still feels a bit too slow. Maybe it should have been 3.5 seconds. Scale. Yeah, okay, that looks pretty good. Yep, I like it. Okay, so now we're just going to do the last part of our project is to go ahead. Relative mode is back on. We do not want to animate this background color. We're going to turn it to 0. We're going to make the opacity 0. And we are going to hit Command-Shift-M. Or Command-Shift-M. And we're going to say overlay 3. Because we did 2 or 3 overlays this week. And we're going to hit enter. And now we're coming back to our video and we're going to press Command I. We're going to go grab overlay 3.mov and we are going to just drop it right over there. And again, when you do that, it's going to be massive. So all we need to do is scale it down. Let's go and select, with that layer selected, we're in the transform. Again, you can do this for any video editing software. I just happen to be using Final Cut. Oops, gotta grab this little handle right here and scale you. And let's put you down in the bottom corner just like that. So now let's go have a look. Super. I forgot to do something. I'm going to delete this. It looks terrible because in Flow, the size of this scene is 600 by 100. So let's just do another little thing and we're going to go and we're going to scale this up to by 4x, which is going to give us tons of resolution. Overlay 3, export, replace, close U, Final Cut, Command I, overlay 3, enter, and drop it into our project, just like that. Come over here, nice and crisp, bring it down to the bottom, scale it, and put it right there. Come over here, full screen it, make that nice and big for everybody to see, as big as possible, and we hit play. Super duper. Watch it one more time, just to see how easy that was. Cool. All right, let's pause that. And now you can see my lovely face. See, it's lit properly. Halfway through it wasn't. All right, that's pretty much it again for today. Another rebuild. This is sort of just trying to show you again process of like looking at something, decomposing it, trying to find the right assets. And I basically just did everything from scratch by looking at it. So again, also trying to just show or teach or just give you some insight into how I think about things, how I go about, reasoning out which kinds of assets I'm going to use. Am I going to rebuild them myself? I didn't rebuild that logo myself. I thought I was going to, but it turned out that it had these little curvatures that were going to make it a little bit awkward. So what did we do? We just found a good source and imported that as an SVG, removed all the junk that came along with that, and then copied everything or just rebuilt everything from scratch afterwards. Okay. So again, that is number 4, I think, maybe overlay 3, overlay 4 for the week. Again, this is just about technique, applying a lot of those things that we learned in the first 30 episodes or so of Flow, all about perception, things like that. These animation techniques are great, even if you're doing stuff in After Effects, okay? So just looking at how to decompose and move things, and this idea of even today of offsetting something inside of something that's changing shape, just general practices. We're just showing you how to do them with Flow. Obviously, I like Flow. But you could even watch these or share them with anybody that's interested in learning how to animate properly. All right? And we'll think about what we're doing next week. I think we have a request to do some recreations of some Google animations. So maybe we'll move on to those. All right. I'll talk to you all in a few days.